Hey, and welcome to the Den Code Podcast. Today's going to be talking about programming our body. So the first thing that I want to get into is just neural pathways and how our positives and negatives, those strong ones. So the more that we do something, we actually create pathways in our brain so that when we come into a situation, we are going to go down either a path where this is what we've done before, and it can be positive or negative. Or we can start trying to challenge those and see, this is where mistakes were made. Let's try to break down a negative one or build up a positive one. So the way I want to look at this is just programming, working out, for instance, your relationships, your life. This is how we're going to break it down. And I believe that this can apply to everybody, not just people that are in the gym. So programming our bodies just for working out is, if we're doing the same thing all the time and we're not getting results, what can we do? Well, we can look at where we've gone before and why this hasn't worked. If we can do that, we can really identify, okay, I went down this pathway, I do this type of programming, and I stayed on this program for a year or two, and this hasn't worked. The nutritional side of things, okay, you're dieting, but this hasn't worked. And the results, the areas you're looking for, or it has worked, not always negatives, or it has worked, so this has worked in the past, I want to apply this into a new program. And I am a person that believes that the phones are always out nowadays, but if you can get a book, that's what I have right here in front of me, I got it from CanFit Pro 2 weekends ago, is if you can write things down, and that's what I do, is I write down exactly what, so when I see great workouts and I want to throw something in there, Mark Campbell earlier, shout out to him, was doing lots of great things on his videos, and I was writing some great ideas down. So that's in my book. It's just on my pull day. He was doing lots of cool lap things over there on his videos. So I wrote it down. I want to apply it, see what works, see what doesn't for me. I think that that's the best way. You see the positives. The number one thing you want to focus on is the positives, because those negatives are going to try to take away from these positives. So if we can get the positive side of things more than anything, find the things that have worked. Build programs for working out around those, and life, but build those programs around those. It'll really be positive and kind of change your life. The negatives, you just are like, take this out, this hasn't worked, let's try to figure it out in a different way. Now, life and relationships are the main focus of this podcast, and it's not going to be me getting in crazy depth about relationships of the past or anything like that. I just want to break it down and create a formula for you. So the neural pathways that I talked about right when I opened up is positive, negative. So if in relationships in your past, whether it's family, friends, love interests, if you've had issues, then you figure out that these neural pathways maybe have been getting really strong. So they've actually strengthened up, because the strength of the negative and positive are both really strong once they've happened numerous times in your life. So the positive ones is what we want to rely on. So the positive ones in our life, we want to build off of those. So when you've had great success in relationships with your family, friends, love interests, we want to build on those, and we want to strengthen those. The negative ones, what we want to do is identify them. We do not want to say, I wish these weren't here. We are going to say what I wish for the future when this comes up again, not what I wish I would have done. Because you know what? Living and filling up those pots of the past and watering plants with no seeds in them of yesterday isn't going to help today and tomorrow. I want you to focus on today and tomorrow, not yesterday. You can apply and learn from those old relationships from doing this. And if you can kind of change that mentality of I wish to what I'm going to do, you can switch into a positive, because the negative ideas are always around us and they're always going to try to take away. That's what I've noticed in my life, is whenever I have something really positive going on in my life, that's when the negativity comes in. Whether it's your family, negativity is going to try to bring in and break that, because that's your bond, that's your strongest thing. Even in the animal kingdom, that's the thing that the animals rely on. And at the end of the day, we are an animal. So that's what we're going to want to do, is strengthen that. Your love interest, whatever that is, if you're in a relationship, that has to be a backbone, because if that isn't a backbone, we're going to have issues down the road. You have to be able to rely, and when you're having a bad day, she's got to help you, and if she's having a bad day, you got to be there for her. So that's kind of the way that works. Family and friends, same way. So if your friends are when you're giving the positive aura out and the greatness and just how great today is, and they're having a down day, they're going to need it. And when you're having a down day, they're going to need to do that for you. That's how it is. You want to build those positive neural pathways and get rid of those negatives, because the negatives are always going to try to come in. And when you're wanting something, I learned this from Mark Campbell down at CanFit as well, is when you're having those days where you're thinking, I wish, what I want. Think of focusing always on what you want, not what you don't want. Because even in training, and he had a great speech on this down in Calgary about how when you're asking somebody what they want out of the training, really focus on what they want, not I don't want belly fat, I want stronger core. Focusing on what we want and the positives rather than all the negatives in, because that instantly triggers into those negative neural pathways, and you're going to then focus on things that you shouldn't. You're going to waste time and not be as productive. And I think all of that applies to everything in life, really. And when you're looking at life, if you want to have success, you need to surround yourself with great people that challenge your thoughts. If everybody agrees with you all the time, it's not going to be very challenging, and your personal growth is going to be very limited. You want to find people that surround and strengthen you in areas that you aren't as strong, and that can teach you in ways that nobody else can teach you. So that when you have these interactions with people, you're thinking, holy, I'm on a high. I am on a high. And that's what I try to use with my clients is by the end of the day, you're on a high because you've hit 8 clients. They've all brought in things. You've learned a lot in the day. You've trained them, but they've also given you so much positivity or negativity if they bring it in. I don't have too many of those clients. Positivity, though, that's what I try to focus on. Even if you don't get enough sleep, even if you're hungry, you bring the positivity, it brings the best out of your client, and it's the best. And I think that applies to everything. I don't think that just is limited to personal trainers. I think that can apply to your family. When you go over and see your mom and dad for dinner, I go over every Sunday, watch football. Bring the positivity. Bring it. They want to see you. They want the positivity. Your friends, same thing. You go out, maybe you only get to see them once every 2 weeks. When you see them, bring the positivity. Be you. Be positive. Get rid of the negativity, because you know what? We can focus on all of these negative things all the time. What I have found worked for me, and this is something that I have really tried to, when you start off the day, focus an hour with no phone, an hour at the end of the day with no phone. You're focusing on yourself, self-meditation, and I think that this can really focus and unlock your brain. In the morning, what I do after that is I then check the phone. But then I set it aside and do all my programming for my clients, and I listen to some sports news, not normal news, because you know what? I want to just hear about the sports. I want to hear in the sports world. And if I need a pick-me-up, I will watch a motivational sports, football, life, or something, a little tidbit maybe broken down, and that just gets me going. And I'm pumped, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to rock, and I'm ready to go train. And I have found this worked. If I'm focusing on the other things, not so much. I get sidetracked. I'm looking at my phone, my productivity. It's already 11:30. It's what am I going to do? Those type of things. So if you can kind of unlock your brain and really figure out where you're wasting your time and where the negativity comes, you can identify it for the future, not me worrying about what I wish I would have done yesterday. I think of it as 3 plants, and that's what I'm going to end today on is you got 3 pots in front of you. You got yesterday, today, tomorrow. There are seeds in today and tomorrow. There's nothing in yesterday. So if you water and focus on yesterday so much, you're just wasting it. It becomes mud. And we get stuck in mud. Today, tomorrow, there's seeds in there. We can change. We can really change today and tomorrow. So if we can water today and really water tomorrow, we can really unlock our futures, and you're going to meet great people, and you're going to surround your life with success by focusing on learning. Everything's a lesson, and if you can unlock that and you can focus on watering today and tomorrow's plants, you're going to really be successful, and you're going to change your life. So just think of positivity trumps today. You're going to feed those neural pathways. We're going to just weaken those negative ones, because we really want to focus on strengthening our positives, and you get a little learning from the negatives, but we don't want to focus on those. That's the number one thing from today. Have a great day, Pride.
Always with you what cannot be done. Hear you nothing that I say. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.